And Naomi Osaka just announced that she has withdrawn from Roland Garros this year. Obviously, before the tournament, Chanda, she said she was not going to speak to the press. And John, she was fined $15,000 after her first round win for not talking to the press. And then the 4 Grand Slams came out and said that they would potentially punish her further and say that she could be defaulted from this event, potentially suspended from other tournaments. In the end, Osaka decided to withdraw today. What's your reaction?
When you dreamed of playing Serena, how did that dream match come out?
I don't dream to lose, so that's how I'm answering your question.
Well, after Indian Wells, it seemed to catch you by surprise, and your acceptance
Oh,
speech
that
has
terrible
been
speech.
widely viewed.
Yeah, I'm gonna practice, I guess. Jeez.
Imagine people thinking it's a privilege that you work for them. So somebody watching this video needs to hear this. You have about 45 to 50 sick time hours that you have not used. You need to use that. If you haven't heard of Naomi Osaka, then a quick debrief for y'all.
This is the highest paid female athlete in history.
But we're not here to talk about her accomplishments. We're here to talk about mental health today. Now, for whatever reason, the media has this huge issue with talking about mental health. This girl has showed up to work. This girl has excelled in all of her accomplishments. She's done everything. She's entertained the hell out of millions of people worldwide, and yet y'all mad that she doesn't want to do an interview. The problem that arises when talking about mental health, specifically in the media, is that it ultimately goes back into who's running the media, which are these older, super radical, old boomers, whatever you want to call them, who just can't accept the fact that we can work at home and still do our job 10 times better than we could if we was in the office. It's funny because I have a story really similar to this. Now, I used to work at this company back in San Francisco, and I specifically remember this one dude on my team before I left. He said, "It's a privilege to work here." Now, ironically, the reason why I left was because I was going through some mental health issues that I probably should have taken some time off before I got bad, to the point where I was basically like, man, forget this job. Well, ultimately it led to being other problems within the offense. I had to leave. And that's where it goes back into this concept of people thinking that these athletes, celebrities, influence are just placed on this pedestal like they're not human too. Now, of course, I'd love to be swinging a tennis racket or shooting a ball and make 22 million, 34 million a year, other than, do what I'm doing now, but I just don't got that talent. But even with their talented abilities, that does not mean that they have a privilege to work or perform for anybody. It means that they've made that choice to say, I want to continue on, perfect my craft, and move up to the next level so that I can perform. That's why it's a great thing that she's so young and able to understand that your mental health, your emotional stability is going to be way more important on your longevity in your career. We've seen so many young athletes and stars who go through these types of issues, but they try to push forward through it thinking that they could just handle it, when not understanding that if they had just taken a break, they had just not taken that interview, maybe they wouldn't have said that to this coworker that led to the downfall of this specific relationship. Inspiring millions of young girls, generating millions of dollars in her niche. But when Kevin Love did it years ago, he was considered a hero. That's another conversation. I ain't ready for that conversation though. Moral of this story, the evolution of mental health stability as a necessity and not a nice to have has not had a smooth path, especially as we're more exposed to a different type of temptation, parasocial relationships with these influencers or content creators, whatever you want to call them. The addiction to external validation, specifically from social media. So remember, if you got sick time, take it. You got PTO, take it. These companies do not love you. They do not care about you. You are just another number, regardless of if they make you feel like you aren't. Because at the end of the day, it's still a business. They can love you all you want as long as you're performing for them, but as soon as you don't. Naomi is getting hell right now for following all the rules that she was supposed to. She was supposed to come to an interview. She didn't want to go to the interview. All right, contract said, if you don't go to the interview, you got to pay a fine. All right, I paid a little fine, paid a little 15K. No, see, that's control. They're trying to control her. And that's exactly what a lot of these companies do to you. But thanks for watching, y'all. If you enjoyed this content, please like, comment, subscribe. Give me your thoughts on it. How do you feel about mental health in the workplace? How do you feel about mental health just in general as it's kind of evolving and being included into our modern day culture? I just like to know y'all thoughts about that. But other than that, catch y'all next time.